honey buns, and what is up? Today we are going to be making a cow neck bodycon dress. Let's get started. Honey Bun TV. Hey honey buns, everything you're gonna need is going to be listed in the description box below, but I'm working with 2 yards of fabric, scissors, measuring tape, and of course some pins. Now when I am working with fabric, I always like to fold my fabric in half, hamburger style, because you will have a little bit more fabric, in my opinion, to work with, and it's just a little bit easier for organization when it comes to cutting your pieces and having scraps. As I like to say, keep your scraps, okay? So after I'm done folding it, what I'm going to do is cut it down the middle, and I am going to have my 2 pieces. After that, I'm gonna go ahead and cut my front piece, my back piece, and my arms in extra fabric, okay, on a fold, as you see me here doing. Now when it comes to the length of your dress, that is totally up to you, and how you find the length of your dress is measuring the top of your shoulder, and I like to go about 3 inches above my knee, or if you want it shorter, you can go shorter, okay? Do what you gotta do, boo. Now after that, we are just going to be measuring our cow neck. This is dependent on how long you want to make your v-neck and how long your v-neck goes. Now I know previously I said about 13 inches I came down for my v-neck, but it's really 15 inches. So this fabric is between 26 and 30 inches long. So that means however long you make your v-neck, if you measure it down to about 13 inches from the top of your shoulder to the top of your belly button, you will do 13 times 2 or 15 times 2 or 16 times 2, so on and so forth. And that is how you are going to be getting the length of how long to make that cow neck fabric that is going to hang low. Now we are getting ready to cut the v-neck portion. So as I stated before, I went down approximately 15 inches, and sometimes if you want it a little bit lower, like I say, you can go lower, but it's up to you and where you want your v-neck to stop and how long you want it to hang. I went down about 15 inches, and you really want to go over, I want to say, about 1.5 inches to 2 inches, because you want your dress to stay up. You don't want it to hang too low or to come off of your shoulders. So what I would say is go down however long you want it and go over about 1.5 inches, okay? I learned that the first time, if you cut it too much going in where your shoulder is, your dress gonna be falling off of you, girl, okay? So go in about 1.5 inches and or 2. Try it on first and go from there, okay? Now my dress is still on a fold, and as you can see here, I am cutting from one pin to the next. After I have finished cutting, you see where this v-neck is and how I still have a good chunk of my shoulders here, and when I put my dress on, it will not be hanging almost off my shoulder or exposing my chest too much. Now this fabric that I cut, the extra fabric, I want to say is approximately 10 inches wide. You do not have to cut it that wide, but however I did. However wide you cut it, you want it to be matched up with your shoulders. If not, you will have to pleat it like I am about to show you here. And if you make a mistake or you cut your extra fabric too long, you can always cut the excess off. In this case, baby, I want this thing to hang low, so I ain't finna do that, okay? So what we are going to do now is literally we are going to pleat, and we are going to pin the top of our fabric on our shoulders, okay? So what I'm doing now is I'm literally folding over 1/2 inch. I really didn't count as much as I could have how wide the pleats were. I just pleated it until literally the extra fabric was all matched up to the shoulder point here, and that's what you see me here doing. After I finished pleating and pinning, as you can see here, that fabric matches up and lines up with the shoulder. I'm just literally showing you here what I mean by the length of your fabric should be the length of that v-neck, okay? And if you want to cut the v-neck first and then cut your fabric, you can do so and add an inch just to be on the safe side, but this is how I did it. We are now getting ready to sew our fabric on top of where our v-neck is. So as you can see where I'm gliding my finger through, the thread is red, okay? So I've already sewn on one side so you can see and get a visual of what it's going to look like. But now that it's pinned, you are literally going to sew that outside where that v-neck is, the fabric on top. And if I did not mention, you are also where those pleated pins are going to be sewing the shoulder piece, okay? After I am done sewing my v-neck as well as the pleats on top of my fabric, I am now going to take my back portion and sew the shoulder points together. After you sew the shoulder points together, as you can see me here doing, I'm laying my fabric out because we are going to get ready to do our last couple of steps here. Now, what you're going to do is you are going to take your arm and you are going to match it up with the middle. So take your arm piece, find the middle of it, and match it up to the middle of your dress, and you're just going to pin. And the way that I like to pin is pinning it from the middle to the left, pinning it from the middle to the right. And you're literally going to follow the same suit when it comes to sewing. You're going to start with the middle, sewing it all the way to the left, and then you're going to flip your fabric over and start from the middle and sew it all the way to the right. After we are finished sewing our sleeves on, we are literally going to follow the same way that I told y'all how to sew it on when it comes to the sides. You are going to start from the middle, which is underneath your armpit, and sew all the way down that arm, and then you're going to come back to the middle under that armpit and sew all the way down to the side of the dress as you just seen me do there, okay? After that, we are now going to be flipping our dress inside out, and then we are going to be hemming the bottom. We're going to be hemming the arms, and we are going to be hemming the back of our neck. Now, I'm going to show you how to hem the bottom because it's going to apply the same way it's going to apply to the arms, and it's going to apply to the back of your neck, which is literally folding about 1/2 inch to 1 inch over, and then you are going to be sewing down that pull over, okay? So as you can see me here doing, I'm folding over about 1/2 inch and I'm pinning it. And then where you see that line after that inch, like the line under obviously on the fold, you're literally just going to sew all around, okay? And you're going to do the same for your arms, and you're going to also do the same for the back of your neck. So see how I'm just sewing on that line once it's folded over, and I'm taking my pins out and I'm taking my time. That's how you are going to hem the bottom of your dress, those arms, and the back of the neck, okay? This is how it should come out. See you, honey buns, next time on Honey Bun TV. Mwah.